Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today is a very exciting day. We are going to be removing this engine. Let's get to it. Okay guys, so welcome back to part 2 of this series. If you haven't seen part 1, I'll put a little link up here for you to go and watch that back. Basically in part 1 we removed all of the electrics, coolant stuff, brad pack, etc, etc. Today we've basically got exhaust downpipe, drive shafts, dog bone mount, engine mounts, engine out. So let's get you in a bit closer and we'll tackle these downpipe nuts because they look like they're going to be a pain. Okay, so for these downpipe bolts, obviously behind the engine, you can see 1, 2 there. You can see, can you see? Number 3 is there. And then number 4 is underneath, so we'll probably have to tackle that from under the car. I'm not even sure I can get you an angle of it here. So I'll get you set up on the tripod again. We'll get the 3 nuts that we can see, and then we'll probably need to jack the car up a bit higher and tackle that bottom one. So let's get to it. Okay, so first things first, I've soaked these already a little bit, but we're going to spray some more penetrant on there because they don't look particularly friendly, these bolts or these nuts. I can just about see the one under there, so just give them all a good soak in. I believe they're 16s, so let's try it with this one at the back. Looks like it needs to be spannered. Can we get a nice angle on there? Yep, that one is nice. That one's actually not as tight as I thought it would be, which is nice. Okay, we'll get that one whipped off in a minute. These top 2 I think we're going to attack with a socket and a ratchet. Okay, this one here, get you on there. Yeah. Not got a lot of room to work with here, but they're coming. Actually, I'm going to get a bigger extension for the next one. The first bolt is off in the pot. Let's create a bit of a monster extension for this one because it's quite far away. Over or under? Let's try it over. We're on. Woo! The third one cracked off. Try and not drop it. Number 2 in the pot. Let's get on number 3. Can I get to that? I don't think you can get to that with a socket. So we'll go back to spannering. This one's going to take a while. Yes. Number 3 is off. Right, let's have a little look at number 4. I don't think I can get to it from up here. Let's jack it up, see if we get a better look underneath. We'll come back with an answer. Okay, so having made my way under the car now, got it jacked up a bit higher. That's your driver's side drive shaft, and there's a little kind of protecting plate, I guess, or whatever that goes sort of over the boot. But the other downpipe bolt is just behind that. So I'm going to remove this. I need to remove these drive shafts anyway, but remove the plate first, see if I can get to the downpipe. If not, then we will attack the drive shafts. So let's see if we can get this plate off with one hand. Excellent, and that hopefully will just slide out of there. And then, you probably can't see it, but the bolt is just there. I can now touch it with my hand. Interestingly, while I'm under here, I'm not sure whether this sensor here is actually going to stay with the car when we take the engine out. So I will undo that while I'm under here. But yeah, let's attack that bolt. Okay, so with all the downpipe bolts out, this should now be free, which it is. Brilliant. That was fairly easy. Right, so why did I say that? Next is drive shaft bolts. Looks like passenger side I might be able to get to from the top, which might be easier. Driver side, I'll be back underneath where I just was. Let's whip them out and I'll come back to you. Okay, so actually passenger side I'm going to come through here because it's nice and easy. Little screwdriver in the brake disc to stop the drive shaft rotating, and then we can get fairly good access in here. These are very tight though, so I can use both hands, make sure I don't round anything off. But yeah, let's just whiz them out quickly and then we'll move to the driver side. Okay, that's all of them all now cracked off. This is the last one just to do now. By the way, these are M10 spline bits, so just so you know. Get the last one. And that should be that drive shaft loose. Whoop, whoop. Okay, driver side, then dog bone mount, then it's lift off. Let's go. Okay, hopefully you can see me over there. But you got nice access now. Now that heat shield's out the way and everything else. He says that. Still need a bit of an extension just to pass the boot. Couldn't quite get square on that because of the CV boot being in the way. So, much better. It's so tight. Number 2. Number 3. Okay, it's 3. Bottom 3 cracked off. Just buzz them out. Okay, 3 more to go. Again, just got a screwdriver in the brake disc to stop it rotating. So turn this all the way around. So they're all facing the bottom again. Stick the screwdriver in the brake disc. Probably should have went a little bit further, but we'll see. See if we can get these off. Definitely get to you. Number 5. And lastly, number 6. I'm going to have to come and move that brake disc a bit, I think. Just buzz these bottom 2 out. Not ideal. There we go. Okay, one more. And while we're under it, we'll do the Downpipe mount as well. Just twist this around so it's nice and easily accessible. Yes. Great success. Okay, so the drive shaft is now free as well. We will get these two three big old bolts out for the dog bone. Although I could just do these two, I guess, and leave that here. Yeah, this one doesn't look in particularly great shape, so we'll actually keep that here. We'll just undo these bottom two, whether you can see where I'm pointing or not, but I will bring you under here in a sec. Just figure out what size these are, and then we'll get whipped off. Okay, we've got some unconventional tripod usage here, but you can see the two bolts that I'm going to undo here. As your dog bone mount, they're going into the subframe. I think we're going to leave that there probably. I don't know if I mentioned it earlier, but the downpipe bolts or downpipe nuts that we undid, they were 16s. These are 16s as well. So let's hope that come out nice and easy. See the engine shift there, which means it's now loose of everything actually. Drive shafts are out, dog bone is out, downpipe disconnected. Let's go and get the crane. Exciting times. Let's get the crane out, get it strapped up, and we'll see how we get on. Da-da-da. Here she is. Oh Jesus, this is not going to be easy. Here she is. The first time. Fairly fresh out the box, but it's been sitting for a while. It's got a bit rusty. I've got really no idea how to strap this engine up. It's probably a good time to mention that I've never actually hauled an engine before, so this is a learning experience for all of us. I'm going to figure out how to get this strapped up as best as possible, and then I will take you around and show you what I've done, but it probably won't be right, so don't copy this. Okay, so we have got the hoist mounted. Pretty sketchy. We've basically gone around both engine mounts. I'm not massively happy with it, but I don't really know where else to go, because obviously the inlet manifold at the front is plastic, so I don't want to lift off of that. The lifting eye itself is too small to get my little hook through, but I'm sure it'll be fine, right? We're just on both. We're on the engine mounts. The engine mounts support the engine normally. A bit worried that I've got no kind of front to back control, so if it tips over, who knows? But look, let's do it. I'm going to start whizzing out these engine mount bolts slowly and see what happens. So let's bring you in a little bit closer. Okay, so engine side, as I say, I don't really know what I'm doing at the moment. So I'm just going to start taking off everything under the top of the mount, see what happens. There's a little bracket here. There's a little bracket here where the charcoal canister was sitting, which I just whipped off quickly. That just kind of pulls off itself. This looks like a 10 on the top here. Let's get this little plasticky bracket out of the way first. There's another one in there. The nerves are starting to kick in here. It's all fun and games up to this point, but now it's getting real. Oh God, there's another one. Charcoal canister bracket is held on by 3 10mm. Okay, then we have 2 big 17mm, I guess, either side, and then these little, oh no, actually no, they're 16s, aren't they, I think, and then these are 15s. So let's get them ones off. Still isn't anything structural, I don't think, at this point, so I think we're okay just to whip these off at the minute. Okay, that's that little bracket done. The 2 13mm. Now this, I assume, is where it gets scary. So these are 2 16s. It is obviously just going to sit on the body still. So let's crack them off and see what starts to happen. God, they're actually studs. I thought they were nuts. Okay. So I think that side is free, possibly. Is that what there was? 2 bolts holding that one? So movement in that mount still. So let's move you over to the gearbox side. Do the same over there. Definitely feels like it's moving. So yeah, let's move over to the gearbox side. Do the same over there. Okay, so on the gearbox side, there was a plastic channel. The channeling for all the wires, that's sat on top. Just rip that out of the way. You can see we've got the strap around this gearbox mount, so it should be nice and strong. Just got these 4 bolts on the top, I guess, holding the mount to the car. I'm suddenly very aware that I don't know what I'm doing. It's only nuts and bolts, right? Okay. Always a good thing to remember to check beforehand, because I forgot. I still haven't taken that clutch pipe off. We'll get that whipped out. Oh, I'm scared, guys. Okay, clutch pipe should just be popping that out. Okay, clutch pipe is out. That, to my knowledge, was the last thing holding this engine in. Whew, scary times. All right, let's just send it, see what happens. Okay, nothing scary that side. Do this side. Okay. Is the engine now free? Is it just sitting on its mounts? Right, I'm going to move you back. Let's get ready for impending disaster. I'll get you a nice view. Okay. This is it, guys. Wish me luck. We're going to start lifting this engine and see what happens, if anything. A big movement. We have liftoff. The engine is free. The engine is free. Okay, just having a little look around. It's a bit of a squeeze, but we're just going to keep lifting and see what happens, I think. Get it clear this side. Got these wires out of the way. Gear selector out of the way. Downpipe is clear. Two little coolant hosey things are clear. Looking good, I think. This driveway isn't the best because the curb is right where I want to be pulling. Look at that. That, people, is an engine removed from a Mark II TT with the sketchiest looking straps, the cheapest engine hoist money can buy. which you can tell because it's twisted, I think. Or maybe it's just because it's on the piss. We did it. Here's one for the thumbnail. Maybe. Honestly, I am chuffed. That is great. I told you, it's just nuts and bolts, right? Just nuts and bolts. Okay, unfortunately, that's not where the hard work stops. We've got to split the gearbox. We've got to get it mounted on the engine. I've got to drag it up my driveway, which is on an incline, which is not going to be fun. But yeah, we did it. Yeah. Okay, so I've just loaded it down onto one of the wheels here. As I was lowering it down, I remembered I probably should take those 3 gearbox bolts out the bottom because I won't be able to get to them now. So I've just whipped those out quickly. They were all 16s, I think. So what I'm now going to do is go and remove the gearbox, the last few 16s. What I want to do before then, though, is sort of figure out what I'm going to do with that strap. Once the gearbox falls off, we'll only have one strap on. So let me get that side of the engine strapped because we're going to need to lift it to get it mounted onto the engine stand. So hopefully this chain is tight. So I'm hoping that if I undo this, yeah, there's no tension on this strap, so we're good. It says. Not entirely sure. We just, I mean, we've got the lifting hole, haven't we? But the lifting hole in that engine mount, so I'm sure we'll be fine through that. I'm not just going to trust that chain though, because it's not entirely in. So we'll just put the strap through the hole, this side, and then the mount the other side. Sure, that will be fine. It's only literally going to be up in the air for a few minutes, hopefully, while we mount it to the engine stand. I don't know if it's coming across the video, but I'm genuinely so happy. Having never taken the engine out before, so just doing it on the drive, on my own, it's crazy. That is a very long bolt back this side. Right, I'm just checking out what we've got to take out here. So obviously there's going to be a couple in the starter motor, I assume. I know there's one on the other side of the transfer case, and there's 2 big ones at the top here. So I'll bring you a bit closer in so you can see what we're doing. Okay, so the first bolt we're going to tackle is this one, just to the side of the drive shaft kind of coupling. That's not a 16. Oh, that's an 18 there, so that's okay. The little Amazon £20 ratchet is earning its money today. There's that side out. There's another one there, but that's so deep, I'm not even sure I'm going to be able to get. So my long reach sockets are going to be deep enough. Let's try it with a spanner first. We've got the most amount of room down here. Can't imagine doing this on the car as much fun. God, that was tight. Top one out. Right, let's move you around this side so you can see what's going on. So we've got that one out. Got that one out. Okay, there's one big chunky one left on the top, and then we'll remove this starter. We'll get some of this stuff out of the way. I think that bracket's going to come with the starter, so yeah, I'll remove all these plastics and then yeah, see where we are. Okay, so I think some of this plastic stuff is going to be on that bracket with the starter, so I'm going to try not to break it. Fold out of the way there for me. You look like you slide off or down. Which way do you slide? Okay, or just break it off. Okay, that's going to come with us. They look like little 13s, I would guess. That should allow the starter to be free, and I think we're only left with one more bolt. This one. Oh, that was the earth cable we took off of the car. I could have just took it off the starter motor end. Remember that for next time. Okay. Are you loose now, or is there more? Oh no, look, stupid. It's bigger nuts over the top. Wow, these are long. Look at the size of them. I'm so impressed with this little electric ratchet. Hey. One starter motor removed. So, I think we have probably one more bolt at the top there, which that's going to be fun to get to. And then maybe this engine will just fall off, or the gearbox will fall off even. Let's hope the engine doesn't fall off. Okay, I'm going to take this gear selector off, which I think is a 13 from memory. Okay, with that out of the way, hopefully this becomes a little bit easier. Yes, we did it. Whoa. Okay. I don't know how many bolts there should be on this gearbox. I don't know if I've done all of them or what, but she's falling off. Whew. That is one gearbox removed. Okay, we'll get it back up in the air a bit. We'll get this clutch and flywheel assembly off, and then we're going to get the engine stand. Have fun trying to mount that, and that'll probably do us for today. So first things first, before we get it mounted on the engine stand, we are going to whip off this clutch assembly and then whip off the flywheel. These bolts all around here are a 9, but they're kind of a weird shape, not like a normal 6-sided bolt. So the only thing I've got that actually fits it is these old cheap set of spanners, which luckily look like they're going to work. Obviously the issue is that everything wants to turn, but with a little bit of a hit, we managed to get this one undone. Luckily they're not massively tight, so let's see if all of the rest of them are as friendly as this one was. Let's get it loose enough that we can undo it with my fingers. Anyway, you don't want to watch for this. I'll come back once all these ones are done. Okay, so last clutch bolt coming out. 6 of those. No. Friction plate. Right, let's figure out what this what bolts these flywheel are, and then spline bit things again. So hopefully they're just 6 bolts there in the middle. Hopefully this whole assembly kind of falls off. No idea. Find out in a minute, I guess. Let's go get them spline bits. Okay, what do we got here? Everything seems to be M10 recently, so let's see if it's the same for this. No, bigger than that. And 12. Yeah, feels good. Okay, we are gonna go straight at this with the impact because I've got nothing holding the flywheel. So obviously it wants to spin if I try and use the ratchet. So fingers crossed. Here it goes. 6. Excellent. Now, how does this work? Does it all come off now? Yes, it does. God, it's heavy. Okay, so now we've got access to here. We can try and figure out where I'm going to mount my engine stand. I guess we want 2 there, probably those 2 there would be quite nice. Right, let's go and grab the engine stand attachment. Okay, so I've got a selection of M10 and M12 bolts. Obviously I didn't know what size, having never done this before, having a new engine stand and all those kind of things, who knows, right? So for those of you who haven't seen it before, this is what a engine stand attachment bit looks like, and obviously they're all kind of adjustable. To make it easy, because I'm not in the best of position sitting out here on the drive right now, I'm going to take these arms off and put them on afterwards. It's not as heavy when I'm doing this. And what I basically read was measure the size of your kind of spacers, I guess you would call them, and then add on 20 mil or so. So there's my first one, and I'm hoping that will just thread fairly easily into the top there. So let's see if we can bottom out in there. If not, I've got some spacers. Right, let's get the socket on there. Just go and find out what size these bolts are. Okay, so we've got 19 then for the M12s. Obviously you want to be fairly careful threading this in. I don't want to cross thread anything or break anything. So I'm just going to do it all by hand. Ideally I want it to bottom out and then I can figure out how many spaces I need. Okay, that's about bottomed out there, so I'm going to just add one washer more, I think. Maybe on both sides. Okay, so I think we're just going to put on a couple of washers just to space it out a little bit. One in there, one on that side. That's probably nicer for the block as well, so have a little washer there. I'm fairly confident now we can ratchet these up like this. Okay, so we'll try and do exactly the same on the other side. Okay, so from what I understand, obviously we want it to be kind of central as possible. And I think you hit it just above the crank, because obviously you want it to be not too top heavy when you kind of tip it over and those kind of things when it's on the stand. So let's just lower this back down again so I've got a stable platform to work from. So probably want you to be, I guess, there. Okay, so I think I'm fairly happy with this positioning here. So we're going to sort of lock these off now. Okay, it's all nice and tight there then. So let's get it on the stand. Woo! That's hard work. Now, let's get you in a position where you can see this better. Okay, so now we've got the engine swinging around in the air and the mount attached. Should just be a case of sliding it in. Obviously that sounds a little bit too easy, but let's give it a go. So it's going to need to come up quite a bit. Still got quite a bit to go. I'm actually going to go and try and get too high, so I have to lift the stand up rather than have to try and mess about with the angles too much. That's that. Nice, okay. So we should, in theory, be able to slide that in there. Like so. Got a little pin over here somewhere. It stops this falling out. And then if we come down gently, Nice and gentle. The engine stand has got the weight. Straps are loose. We're locked in position. Okay. Here goes nothing. Solid. I didn't see any movement really at all in that stand then, so fairly happy with that. We can get rid of these straps. And there we have one engine mounted on our engine stand. Whew. Well guys, that's going to do us for today. The next time you see this engine, it'll be up in the workshop and we can start stripping it apart a little bit. That's how we're going to do it. Cam belt, thermostat, carbon cleaning, pickup pipe, whatever else we decide to do. But as always guys, thank you so much for watching. It really does mean the world. And yeah, we will see you on the next one. Thank you. Bye bye.